Hello people, today I have with us the Frame Arms 1/100 full action plastic model kit type 001 architect, and this one is in gunmetal. Quite a mouthful of names, but this is the guy that started the Frame Arms series. Very basic looking 1/100 scale model kit. As you see here, he is basically a skeleton. The armor on him is just the feet, the knee pads here, the chest, the backpack, and of course the metal plated head, which is one of the cooler looking heads in this series, by the way. Even though it's just the basic, it's really cool. Now these take you a little bit longer than a 30-minute missions kit to build. They also have a lot more cleanup needed than what you would see in a 30-minute missions build. But this was designed to be your platform on customizing mecha model kits from the Frame Arms series. So a lot of the kits that are available are actually available in what they call FME, and those versions actually come with different armor types, different variants, things like that, but don't come with an architect. So you would purchase one of these in the colors that you like. You'd buy the FME version of whatever frame arms you want. You use those armors to put on this architect, and you have yourself a custom unit. Now usually they're in white and they are ready to be painted, so that is the main factor in getting that. You'd match it up to this, and obviously you'd have a good time. But most of the frame arms are also available in a normalized kit, which you would have an architect in anyway. But this guy is the beginning of the frame arm series. It's the most basic mech in that universe, and everything else is built onto it. I mean, you've seen my Jinrai before. You can see a lot of similarities here. I'm willing to bet that you guys know exactly how it was built up based on what you see here. So we're going to go ahead and go into articulation, and for this one there is quite a lot. So we're going to go ahead and go with the head, which is just a ball joint that goes up into the head. On the neck, the neck is on a peg that spins around, but you cannot spin it around in this method. It is on a 3mm peg, so you can actually change the head's area of install wherever the heck you want, if you are so inclined. But for now, it's going to stay in there. The shoulders are on ball joints. The ball plugs into this port here and moves up and down. There is no articulation point up in the shoulder, so the ball joint is limited to where it can go, just based on that. There is a poly cap inside here, and that lets you raise and lower the shoulder here. There is a rotation point inside the shoulder, and 2 points of articulation in the arm. Here's first one, and then second one. Let's do that again. Second one will be like this. Quite a lot on the second one, not so much on the first one. Polycap here, and that actually allows you to move your hand. The hand is also on a joint, so you can move it this way and that. So you have quite a lot of articulation on the hand. Nothing else though, that's just the joint there. Also, these points here you can rotate at, but if you do, you'll mess up the look of it. Just in case you needed to do a pose, you can do that. But realistically, that's where you want it. Inside the chest here, you have a point of articulation at the lower part of the upper chest. So you can move that like so. And then another one down below on a polycap, which allows you to go hog wild on that crunch. And that's necessary for some of the frame arms. You're going to need that bend. There's 3mm ports all over this thing, I forgot to mention, so you are able to mount lots of different things on this. You have a peg that plugs into a small joint. The joint goes onto the peg, so you can twist that as you'd like, and of course it swivels at that point. Inside the top of this one here, this rotates here. You get 2 points of articulation in the knee, which lets you do quite a lot with it. You can hear the joints really sticky because there's not a lot of polycaps in this one. But that is where it would be locked in place up and down. And then lastly, you have a polycap in here with the rotation inside here. And then I think that one can rotate as well. Yes, it can, because it's pegged in place. So it's a 3mm port that goes into this way. So for what it is, there's a lot of articulation on it. Not overwhelmingly so, but for this type of unit, I think it really is well made. I will do a size comparison right now, but before I do that, let me show you the extras that it came with. It came with 2 extra polycaps, and those are of the A variety in this particular model, and those are just these ones here. The polycap that goes through and then has 2 ears on the side. You've all seen them before. They're on a lot of Gundam builds. In addition to that, you get a couple of these pieces here, which are what the hip flex on. And you get a set of hands. So you have open hands here that I'm showing you. You have a pointing open hand, which you can actually grip a weapon with. And that's the other pointing. You have a closed fist, just like so. And of course, the weapons holding hand, which is this one here. And they all have that point of articulation on the back, so you can rotate that one however you'd like. Other than that, they are not articulated. So as you see here, this normally tall Gundam from the Build Diver series is just about the same height as the Frame Arms Architect. And you can tell the inspiration with the 3mm ports, but they kind of outdo it with those. This is the Alto from 30-Minute Missions. It does also have a lot of 3mm ports, but it's nothing compared to what this has. So you can really tell here what we've got combined to make this unit compared to this one. However, you can also see that there's a lot of similarities between the two, just off of the arms, the shoulders, everything that you see that's exposed still shows the core of that architect. And saying basically the same thing again, this is the Frame Arms Girl Architect, which is built off of this if it was a girl. You can see the inspiration with the shoulders, knee pads here with the shoes, but otherwise there's some room to say, hey, maybe not. So a little room for criticism. That said, being a basic unit, this one is a really good one to build off of. Here is my Hexagear Governor Nero, looking small compared to him in 124 scale. And also in 1/100 scale, the Master Grade Alex Gundam. Always bigger than everything I pull out here. So this guy is the basic of basics in universe, but there are a lot of opportunities to expand on this one. But this, being only $10 and a very excellent choice of things to build off of those MSGs, I think that will be a lot of fun to put into my list of things to compare and show off the MSG's likability and versatility and things like such. So hopefully you guys will see more of this guy. Possibly not. I might still use Jinrai because he's been with me for a while, and we'll see. Let me close out with saying at only $10, this is a really good buy for a basic mech that you can put yourself into. Like, let me go ahead and clarify that you can make your own. This isn't anybody else's mech. You can actually completely change the look at it with some of the look of this with some of the armors out there from the 30-Minute Mission series, from some of the stuff from Gundam that has 3mm pegs, things like that. So this is a very basic but also highly customizable kit. So recommend purchasing at least one of these if you have any 3mm ports and pegs that you want to try out on something that doesn't really flavor it in its own way. That said, you can also just get a 30-Minute Missions kits. This one's a little bit cheaper, so you might go a lot longer with this one. Plus, it's very, very highly flexible and very articulated, so you have something that you might not have in your 30-Minute Missions kit. But with everything out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and say I hope you guys have a good night, because I know I am. I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me, but more than likely you'll see my stuff. Bye-bye.